at times, but I thought it went really well and it was good, really fun.
Pole dancing classes are taught all across the country, all however in different contexts for different reasons and to a mixture of ages. Sam Remmer runs children's classes in Plymouth from 12 years old upwards.
My name's Sam Remmer. I run the Art of Dance. It's a pole dancing school. It's based in Plymouth. It's been running for 7 years. I'm an ex-performer. I used to compete at national pole dancing finals. Now I'm retired, I just judge. It's much easier.
Elsewhere in Northampton, controversial pole dancing classes are taught to children as young as 3 years old. Carly Wilford's teachings were soon discovered and an article in the Daily Mail and consequently the Mail Online shortly followed. When corresponding with Carly, we found that she was approachable, yet didn't want to be involved in any filming. We firstly approached the public to hear what their thoughts on the classes were.
It's a difficult one because I imagine there are many exercise benefits to it, but the manner in which the dancing is designed and came about is a very sexual nature. So from a young age, probably not very good.
I think pole dancing is an art form. I think that there's a lot of misconception in the media about pole dancing being just about looking at women being naked.
Charity-run child protecting organisation Kidscape had a lot to say on the matter within the article. We travelled to London to meet with Kidscape Deputy Director Peter Bradley.
There are a number of different pole dancers clubs around the UK which are concerned to Kidscape, and it appears that many of them will be using pole dancing what we would consider to be inappropriate for the age of children that they're working with. Now we know that some clubs go as young as 3, some of them into primary school age and then some into the teens. But the question that I would always ask a pole dancing manager or proprietor or whoever owns that business is why, for example, is it done with sometimes in a sleazy atmosphere? Why is it that the girls, and of course it is always girls, would have to wear lingerie, would have to wear clothes inappropriate to their age? And why are some of the moves that they're doing quite sexualised?
I don't think that's a problem with teaching kids. I don't think teaching's that sexual or anything like that. I think that's fine. It's no different than them learning gymnastics.
Dr Helen Wright, headmistress at leading girls' school St Mary's Cowan and head of the Girls' School Association, often speaks publicly in regards to the sexualisation of children.
People say that parents are to blame for issues like this. Well, why would they buy something for their children if it was actually going to be something that other people might regard as provocative? Of course parents have responsibility, of course they do, but I don't think we can blame parents as a whole actually, because I don't think that it's fair to put parents on one side of the equation and the whole weight of society on the other side.
Visually impaired student Heather is also taught by Sam at the Art of Dance. Although completely blind in one eye and partially in the other, she was able to perform surprisingly well on the pole.
There's a lot of controversy around pole dancing, but I think in modern day, where there are so many alternative forms of fitness, it's just got the stigma attached to it, when in actual fact it's not anything sleazy that you see in the strip clubs. But even if you do go to the strip clubs, you still have to admire the fact that what they are doing on the pole, even if they're doing it for money, it's still quite impressive fitness-wise.
I would like to think it's a form of fitness, but sadly it's probably too much of a sexy dance. I suppose it depends on how it's taught, but I wouldn't be happy with it myself.
Although only teaching children as young as 12, Sam's fitness-based classes are often targeted by organisations who deem them inappropriate.
There are lots of people that don't agree with teaching pole dancing to children. I've had negative reactions from kind of MPs, from a women's Christian group who've contacted me and said that what I'm doing is wrong. Death threats have been the most serious. Apparently I'm going to go to hell for teaching kids to pole dance. I think most of the negative reactions are just from people who don't understand fitness pole dancing, so they assume that I'm teaching kids to strip, or they're not going to have kids in high heels and thongs or something, which obviously I'm not.
If children are going to be using poles for exercise, then it's got to be at the right developmental time for the child, both in terms of their cognitive ability, what they can understand, and then in terms of the dexterity and their balancing, but also being able to enjoy it for what it should be. And certainly we shouldn't be seeing children under 5, 6, 7-year-old dancing around poles. You know, they should be out on the street skipping and having a good time. You know, we don't need to be using poles as an excuse to provide children with exercise.
But they're great for fitness, and they're great fun, and there's always new things to learn. You can always push yourself harder, and kids love it. I'd rather my kids be doing that than be going down the park drinking, and it's a hobby. So I don't think parents should worry too much about it at all. It depends where they learn and who they learn from, because everybody teaches differently.
I find the concept of pole dancing classes for children very difficult to get to grips with. I don't think that you can distinguish or separate out pole dancing as something that is for fitness compared with its strong sexual connotations. I don't think we can do that. I don't know if we'll ever be able to do that, but I don't think we can. So if that's the case, why are we introducing it to young children? They may be entirely unaware. Their parents may think that it's something that isn't an issue because it is about fitness. But if I say the word pole dancing to anybody, they will think of...
Well, when you say pole dancing, I only think of one thing, so...
seedy sex clubs. And that is what we have to contend with.
Why this has happened, maybe there's just been a relaxation of what is acceptable and what's not. And also maybe there's been a change in where people think who is responsible for the well-being of the child. Should it be the parent? Should it be the state? Who should that be?
They just see it completely differently, and we have done sessions where we've actually brought people in for lessons, and once they've done a lesson and they've tried it, then they change their minds completely, usually because they go home and they can't walk for 2 days.
I'd say it's more a form of sexual exposure, because that is ultimately what pole dancing is. There's a reason why there's an age of 18 and up to go into a pole dancing club or anything, so no, it's not a form of fitness.
So I think we are on the cusp of people standing up and realising. And how many complaints were there about the X Factor final last year? A huge number. That's good. The Bailey review, fantastic. The government said it accepted its recommendations in full. But I don't think we're quite there yet. And we need to move that bit further. And we can only do that by standing up and speaking out strongly about it.
How do you go about doing it, basically?
Okay, my name's... I've forgotten my name, that's really...
It doesn't matter where we go throughout the whole, you've got your bells.
Yeah, P and G, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so what's an acceptable age?
It's difficult to define.
Oh my god.
Hold on, you look...
They literally just did that to wind us up, didn't they?
I don't know why the whole second batch of...
Do you think that's it now?